And so women's presence in various sectors of Saudi life, its economic life in particular, is a very significant thing to be known. And their own struggle, they have defied the state several times, especially the freedom of movement, etc. So now you could see at least that, women's bodies as such, some of these regimes have that kind of obsession with women's body. How should they walk around? What should be their dress? And Iranian government has that. France has that. The French government is interested in that. They want to remove some of the clothes from women, etc. But these states are interested in how women conduct their own everyday life, etc.
So moving from Gaza to the entire West Asian politics and society, so we see a change in entire Middle East, that Saudi is accepting some new ideas when it comes to gender and everything. What is the need for Saudi, like when it comes to women's freedom and women in sports advertisements and songs and everything, and especially in recent days, what is changing with Saudi Arabia these days?
Saudi women have been really agitating for more freedom in their everyday life, their freedom to move around. The whole Saudi women struggle for the right to drive was a long movement. Ultimately, they won it even before all this liberalization of Saudi society that's happening under
MBS.
Under MBS, Mohammed bin Salman. So that is one major thing. What is called the youth bulge as such.
Okay.
And a huge younger population. And the whole question of their education, and after education, they are well educated, But the employment situation was not very good for them. So younger people were asking for more opportunities. Younger women were asking for more social freedoms for quite some time now. And the Saudi leadership were traditionally postponing these kinds of questions of reform. They were pushed to the background by many regimes. It has reached a point where that cannot be done anymore, especially with the internet world, with new avenues for people to interact with the rest of the world. The old kind of Saudi system, insulated from other kinds of development, is no more possible. And therefore, you can see some kind of social contract now working between the civil society and the rulers. Because Saudi political leadership was traditionally, having all those roles. The role of an imam, that kind of a religious protector of the holy places, the role of a sheikh, the tribal leadership role, and a malik, a king, as a secular ruling kind of thing. But now you cannot have that kind of a hierarchical political arrangement as in the past. So that is changing. Mohammed bin Salman, etc., is in a way representing that requirement for change in the royal family as such. Because earlier the royal family was the constituency through which the regime was conducting its affairs. That is no more possible. There's wider expansion, and the society is asking for its participation. So that negotiation between the civil society and the state is happening in a dynamic manner now. Saudi women, again, the problem with our view of these societies in general is that, these people are somehow totally subdued by patriarchy of the extreme kind and religious leadership of particular kind, etc. Again, denying the agency of Saudi women to determine their own affairs. They cannot do it fully with all freedoms because there are restrictions imposed on. But that does not mean that they do not seek to become active members of society and seek newer employments. So the fashion industry, for example, in Saudi Arabia, women business owners increasing exponentially in Saudi Arabia over the past few decades, for that matter. Women-owned businesses are, and that's something that has to be really, observed and studied how they do that. And so women's presence in various sectors of Saudi life, its economic life in particular, is a very significant thing to be known. And their own struggle, they have defied the state several times, especially the freedom of movement, etc. So now you could see at least that, women's bodies as such, some of these regimes have that kind of obsession with women's body. How should they walk around? What should be their dress? And Iranian government has that. France has that. The French government is interested in that. They want to remove some of the clothes from women, etc. But these states are interested in how women conduct their own everyday life, etc. Which is not very good for any, society, because people should determine their affairs. So there is a dynamism of that kind having, and a new set of agendas are put to the forefront by women's groups, by civil society in general, by youngsters in the broad sense in Saudi society. So that change is almost inevitable.